All right, Nick, welcome back. Thanks for setting up another podcast episode for us to do.
You're most welcome.
Hopefully, 10 people enjoyed the last one. I don't know.
It's probably just you
But,
watching
Nick,
nine
I was
times.
thinking of more importantly, what do we call this podcast, right?
It's the Jeff
And
and
I
Nick
think last week
podcast.
I said, we'll call it the Jeff and Nick because everything else is Nick and Jeff. But then I really don't like the word podcast because technically we're not on any podcast platforms. We're just on YouTube for now,
For now.
right?
Yep.
It's just us ranting. So why don't we call this particular video series,
Yes.
you ready for it?
Here we go.
It's the Jancast.
The Jan cast. Like, yep. Jeff and Jay and yep. Jeff and Nick cast. The Jan cast.
The Jancast.
I thought it was just going to be like
So come Jan out with Nick and Jeff on the Jancast.
Okay, that's fine. That's what we'll call. Anyway, that's enough fluffing. Today's
So you don't like it?
That's fine. But we've got 2 minutes of fluffing around. People are going to be gone already. Anyway, first of all, anyone watching, if you have a question that you'd like to ask us or a topic that you'd like us to discuss, leave a comment below and we'll talk about it. We will because
We look at all the comments and we respond to pretty much almost everything. So
leave a comment
that's what you get when you watch us.
or a question and we'll talk about it in the next show. We saw Adalia commented yay on last week's one. That's not really a question, but hooray.
So Dahlia, thank you, and yay, indeed.
And James as well. I know James, her husband, will be watching as well.
Yes. Oh, he keeps coming up as a friend suggestion. I feel like I should.
You should add him.
I should accept.
He's a great dude.
Oh,
Anyway, today's podcast episode is going to be titled The Hardest Games We've Played. And with that, I will hit play on the first trailer that we got going on.
Towerfall.
From the creators of Towerfall.
Oh, that's easy. It's Celeste.
Celeste. It was just...
So yeah, Celeste was definitely on my very quick list I put together, Nick.
Yeah.
I mean, you really enjoyed the challenge of Celeste.
Yeah.
And, you die a bajillion times.
A bajillion
And
times.
then, so we both finished the game, right? An impossible feat, but we did it. And
Yep.
it's part of the story, it's part of the game. Like,
Yeah.
the grueling challenge is part of, what was the name? The name wasn't Celeste, was it? No.
Yeah. The game's... Yeah.
Oh, her name was Celeste too?
Yeah.
But that's part of her journey, right?
Yep. It is
Anxiety,
one hell of a mountain to
depression.
climb. If you've got a Switch, download it. It's super cheap too. It's got to be like, what, 10, 20 bucks? If you can get over the graphics, get over the graphics. Not just also the difficulty of the game, but the story is one. It deals with mass anxiety and mass depression, and also like the struggles that this girl faces, and like her own self-hating, and not many things that you see in games, I think. So,
But
really,
Nick,
really, really great.
Celeste game isn't that hard, and it has amazing amounts of accessibility options. You can slow down time. You can have infinite double jumps, anything like that, right?
Yeah.
What made it hard for us?
Doing the B side and the C side.
I don't want you to guess. It's not the A side. It was the B side version of every levels that we finished the game. We thought, oh, that was hard. And then we're like, look, I did the B side. Nick, you better do the B side too.
Yeah.
Or was it the other way around?
I was gonna say no. Yeah, I think then I did the B side, and then I think you started the C side or something like that. But I don't know. Anyway,
There's no way. Neither of us did the C side. I think we both were like, nah, done.
it's just I didn't realize it would just be so long as well. But the next trailer that you can see, I just sort of added to the playlist. I didn't really proof look at them, but can you guess what
Like Cuphead.
It's Cuphead. Yeah, as one of the hardest games.
I didn't even know. I just saw the film grain. I thought, oh, that's Cuphead.
It was Cuphead. I remember.
Are we just going to the video, Nick, or are we just keep talking? I wasn't done talking about Celeste.
That's fine. We can keep talking about Celeste. I just don't know how. Do you want to go for another 45 minutes again?
Oh, who cares? People will watch what they want to watch.
Okay.
I just wanted to say you've never done this. I think is Celeste actually went back and added some free DLC, like an even more epilogue, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
And that was so excruciatingly hard. I thought I did a grueling amount. I got halfway and I'm like, nah. I turned on every assist possible to get through the rest of it.
Really?
And I still died like 900 times.
Wow.
Like, and that was with with every single assist on.
See, thinking about it, I'm pretty sure I did the C side as well because I swear like I did the
I don't know if
we
you
both
did.
well I think we both did the game and then you did the B side and you're like that's right Nick I did the B side I was like fine I'll do the B side so then I did the B side and I'm pretty sure after I did that I did the C side and was like that's right now you do the
The
C
C
side.
sides were like actually they were actually very short, but
It's
yeah,
just so hard. It's
I think it
great.
was too much.
Probably I think out of all the games I've got on my list, it's the only one that's a platformer and it's just like it was so hard. So hard. If you haven't played Celeste, but it's a really good game, like difficulty aside. Yeah. What else I
All
got?
right, Nick, that was your one.
Yep. What's your
My
game?
one,
What's your first game?
one of the first one that came to mind, Bloodborne.
See, I that's on my list too, obviously. But it wasn't on my list for me to be like, this was one of the hardest games ever. This is on my list because it was a hard game for you. I don't know what it was, but
It was the blood. I remember it was the Blood Star Beast. I think it was maybe like the first third of the game, maybe the first quarter. Like the first bit was extremely hard, but it was that Blood Star Beast that like just absolutely ruined me. And I think you were like, "Oh yeah, I do the first time."
you watched me because I remember I streamed a couple of this was years and years ago, and I because you told me oh when you hit this point it was like a graveyard or something. You're like oh stream and I'll watch it.
It was very low in the
Yeah.
game.
And because that's the thing, every boss in Bloodborne I beat on either the first or second try, apart from the last boss, which took me maybe 15 goes. But something about that game just flowed really well with me. Like something about the animations and everything, it just felt really comfortable. And I didn't find Bloodborne hard, but I know I remember you were so mad, so mad because there was a boss that you were like, I fought that thing 100 times and I beat it on the second go, I think, third go maybe.
Yeah, it
And
didn't take you many guys. And then I had Dark Souls on here, but I feel like between Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, they're all sort of like getting mishmashed in my head.
right, and you reckon
And
Bloodborne
we'll
was the
just go
hardest?
Souls games. Soulsborne,
Mm,
they're all in there.
they're all in there.
I feel like everyone's going to talk about Dark Souls anyway, so
Yeah, of course
do
it's
we need to talk about it anymore?
well that's like there's games on my list that because games are some games are as hard as we make them. So one of the games I put on here, which I want to talk about for 30 seconds, is DMC5. Like that that game. I played it on easy because I'm like, no, I just want to have fun. I just want to play the story.
Did you just see it because the video footage is on?
Oh, I actually I didn't realize that. But like that's one of those games that if I were to play it on the hardest difficulty, I'd go blind. There is no way. There is no like Bayonetta is another one. There is no way if you play it on like the hardest difficulty, we would just lose our minds. So I think it's more about the podcast will be about just our gaming experiences and
Was it difficult or is it hard to get like double S rank or triple S rank or whatever it might
nah,
be?
you just get hit and you just die. You just die like as well. Like a game, the enemies just hit you and you just die. It's yeah. So like yeah, I guess going back to Bloodborne and Dark Souls, whereas those games don't have a difficulty, they're just like here's the game, good luck. And so I feel like they were a much better example because there's other games that we can choose the difficulty on that and so there's some that I've just we made super hard for ourselves for unnecessary reasons like the time you did Pikmin with no deaths like that's not a difficult I mean I have no doubt that you would have been raging with some of those sections but
It's just tedious. More,
yeah
I think I actually enjoy games that don't give you a difficulty option. Like I'm like, this is how we want you to play and experience the game. Go nuts. I like there's accessibility stuff now, but I don't love, I don't know, difficulty levels. Because now I'm getting older. Like, playing those Halo games, I'm like, I don't care. Like, easy, please. I just want to have fun. I don't want to feel frustrated.
fair enough
But, the next game on my list is the one that I most recently played, Nick. Cyber Shadow. It's Ninja Gaiden NES,
oh
NES
that's right
style hard.
that was one you
It's
posted a
like it's
picture on
like if it
Facebook
was
right
it was like yeah, it was like if Ninja Gaiden was released today. So it has all these
Ah,
modern conveniences, and you can do it,
yeah
but it's just so difficult. But then you master it, And you're like, oh yeah, you feel so good.
I imagine that's
And
kind of
then you
like
go like,
Hollow
oh
Knight.
man, how did I have trouble with this? But I guess that's like any hard game, isn't it?
Yeah. That's good. That's well, we play a lot of the same games. That's a game that I haven't played yet, and I did see a post
On
on
Game
Facebook.
Pass, Nick.
I did see a post on Facebook. Maybe when I plug the Xbox back in, but yeah, I'd seeing like, oh geez, you did die. You died a lot, and at least now there's a number, so I can be like, okay, I'll go through and I'll beat that. Even if it's just
I thought that would
once.
make you happy. You'll have to die less.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Moving on. Well, now that it's playing, I might as well do that one. Is Breath of the Wild on Master Mode? Like,
Really?
I don't know if I wouldn't put it as like there's definitely harder games on my list. There's much harder games on my list, but just like thinking about how we had to the trials of the sword, how we had to like cheat on a couple things, and like
Yeah.
if you yeah
Like it was the mastering that double sneak strike maneuver. Like that was
yeah
the only way to get past those two lizards
that's what I mean. Like if you didn't
on
know
the
that,
raft, the jetty or whatever it was, the
yeah
pier.
yeah, like there was some
But
things
I
in
feel like there was three lots of master trials, Nick. Only the first was hard.
yes.
The other two, you learnt the language. You knew what, like, it's still difficult, but you knew what to do.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. I don't think this was like this isn't. I don't know if I were to rank all the hardest games on my list, this would be like the easiest one. But it was. I think it's definitely worth mentioning because there was, you play master mode and you get hit by an enemy and you're pretty much dead. Like especially
Dead
you're pretty at the
at the
start.
start. Oh, it was
Yeah,
brutal at the
yeah,
start.
yeah. And it was just like you come up, you got your little leaf sword and like your little twig, and you can't fight anything.
I remember specifically in my tips video I made that no one watched. Um, Master mode is so difficult, but it comes with extra costumes. And one of those costumes was like, reduce your physical hits by, I don't know, 50% or something. I think it was the Dark Knight costume from like
Oh yeah, you're right.
Link's
Yes.
Awakening, not Link's
Yeah.
Awakening, Spirit
Yep.
Tracks.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep.
And that you needed that at the start of the
Yeah.
game. And then all those treasure chests were, I think, sort of in that first area as well. So
Yeah. But
that helped.
so not super hard, but it was. I think it's definitely worth mentioning because it was like fun hard, if that makes sense. It was
Yeah.
challenging. Yeah.
I think it's frustrating when you'd like just run out of all your weapons. You're like, oh,
Yes.
all I've got is these bombs that don't do any damage, and if I hit myself with the bomb, it's over.
Yes, that's right.
Actually, what the other hardest bit? That island, Eventide Island.
Oh, the island. Oh my god.
Even the first time was hard. Master mode I found pretty difficult.
Yeah, you're right. Because what is it? It takes away all your armor, takes away everything. But do you lower your hearts as well? I can't remember if it lowers your or no.
No, it doesn't lower your hearts. I think the trouble was it's because it takes away your armor on master mode.
Yeah.
Because you have no armor, that means your defense is, I don't know, like default 0.5 or
Someone
something.
just breathes on you
like
and just
that. And so your own bombs or a bit of fire or an arrow would just take away so much health and heart. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It was hard, Nick.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh, that's the thing. I've saved all my footage, so there's this game. This one I didn't finish.
Tell me about you. I thought you finished Sekiro.
No. I got like halfway, 3/4 of the way through, and I was just like, "This is not fun. This is my, I don't know what's the word. It's like the white horse or I don't know. Is it just the
Nick, I want to play this game so badly, but
oh,
I don't want to pay $47 for it when it's gonna be on Game Pass or
PlayStation Plus.
PlayStation Plus. The moment I buy it.
See, because unlike, I hope you enjoy it and I hope you have fun with it. But unlike Bloodborne, I told you something just clicked with that game where everything just felt right and flowed right, and I didn't find it super hard. Sekiro, I played halfway, 3/4 of the way through, and I never felt comfortable with the game. I never felt like, I just felt out of rhythm with the parrying and the attacking, and I never felt comfortable with it, and I don't know why. And this game is the bane of my existence because
You just didn't use the grappling hook enough, Nick.
I don't know. Because I hate quitting. I hate quitting and giving up on a game, and I'm real stubborn with that. Sekiro.
Hopefully one day I'll play it and then I'll make sure I finish it all the way, and then
Oh, I hope you do.
you'll have to do the same.
Oh God, I hope you do. I can't wait for you to message me and be like, "Fuck this. This is the biggest piece.
Well, see, because you said it was so hard, makes me want to play it even more.
It was this fight. It was that fight. It was fighting this dude the second time in the tower.
I was talking to Lockie about it, and he's like, "Nah, bro, it's easy. It's not that hard."
Well, it's coming from the guy who couldn't get the double S ranks in Resident Evil Village.
That's true.
Different.
And can I just say, props to From Software, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years or something.
Yeah.
They smashed it out.
Yeah. Smashed it out.
All right, Nick. Yeah. Ready for the next one?
I'm sorry. I'm just watching this trailer. I just have PTSD from that. Oh, I hate that game.
I know it's hard. No, I keep looking at the footage instead of you.
Ugh.
I should be looking at you.
I look at you all the time. I try and look at the camera as well, but it's anyway.
Well, that's where you and the camera are in the one spot. But now I'm looking at the footage.
What's your next game? Fuck Sekiro. Stupid game.
Well, I wonder if you have this game on your lists.
Okay.
I'm gonna say F-Zero GX.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that game's not on my list, but it should be. It very much should be because
not only like this was story mode extremely difficult, like even on normal, I felt like I was really challenged about it.
Yeah.
And then there was even like the Grand Prix, there was like a probably master difficulty or something.
Yeah.
And I think that was the only way to get the character movies.
Yes, you're right. Because when I lent that game to you, you did all this extra stuff that I didn't do, and so I remember going over your place as a kid and like, oh, Nick, check out this thing that I unlocked, and so I got to watch all these extra movies and didn't have to go through the pain of earning them.
So yeah, I thought you might not have that one on your list, and then I just remember like every single level was just like, like you'd get to the end and then your ship would break. Someone would knock into you, or you'd use all your boost power and like, please don't hit me, please don't hit me, please don't hit me, and someone would hit you right at the end. There was one level with like 30 races, and you had to like, I don't know if you had to kill them all, but it felt like you had to. It was the only way to win.
Right. Oh, jeez, yeah. But you're right.
And there's like that canyon level, and the one where you've got to escape, and the escape one was like only 30 seconds long.
Well, I remember you unlocked the extra Grand Prix as well, because it was like the AF courses or
the AX Cups, yes.
Yeah, it was like the arcade courses or whatever they were. And yeah, I only played them at your place because I tried to unlock them as little teenager Nick, but I was just like, this is too hard.
You must have done something because you came back with custom carts, custom vehicles, and I never used custom vehicles. And I'm like, frustrated.
Yeah. I don't know. So as we've been talking, the last two have just been, again, they're only as difficult as you make them. But so this one, Fallout 4 is not a hard game, but there was one trophy that I will never forget for the rest of my life, and it's the reason I'll never play another Fallout game again. Like I'm so bitter.
Yeah, didn't you play like 80 hours and then you were so frustrated? And I'm like, I'm glad I've never been into this game.
I'd say I loved the game. I had so much fun with the game that I was like, I'm gonna get the platinum, and then getting the platinum made me want to kill myself. For all the one people watching or the one day we get famous and 1 million people decide to watch this channel. There'll be someone out there. There'll be someone out there that had to try and get this trophy as well, where you had to get your establishment, your settlement to 100% happiness, and the game was bugged and it was glitched, as all Bethesda?
As all Bethesda games are.
As all Bethesda games are. And fuck me, man, it was just like there was nothing I could do. I could get them to 98%, 99%, but I couldn't get them to 100% happiness, and I was just pulling my hair out about it. So that's why Fallout's on there, and the reason Dead Space 2 is on there is because of the trophy where you had to
with the 3 saves.
Yeah, 3 saves. Play through the game, you can only save 3 times, and it's a 12-hour game, and it was just I
had to take my dog to the vet today, Nick.
Oh yes,
and he has had eye troubles.
Oh no,
something's wrong with his eye, and his pupil. One of his pupils was, what's the opposite of dilated? Undilated, undulated.
Yeah.
I don't know. Extremely tiny pupil.
Okay.
And all I could think of was Dead Space 2. Like, what if he has to have surgery on his eye and
they stick a needle in his eye?
They stick the needle in his eye and then it goes wrong. Oh, and I just remember that Dead Space 2 bit. It's just...
I'm going to replay that game soon. We'll talk about that game.
That was difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
replay it until Dead Space 1 has like an actual release date
Okay.
or is close to it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it'd be a waste.
Fair. All right. Fair. But
All right,
yes.
Nick. I'm going to go back in time.
Oh yes.
Super Nintendo. I feel like
Yes.
NES games are very hard, but I don't think either of us have played many NES games.
No, we didn't have that many as
Well,
kids growing up.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, the quality of life isn't there. But my pick, which you can play on Nintendo Switch through the online app, is Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Ah, that's right. Because you only recently played that, didn't you?
Well, I played it as a child,
Oh.
and
There
I
you go.
think I got pretty far, but I don't think I actually got that far.
Okay.
And yeah, this game is just cruel, awful. You can beat it in an hour, but that's with save states. And that was only on the second time through when I knew exactly what I was doing. So,
Right.
yeah. And the only way to actually beat it is you go through the whole game, you get to the boss, and you're like, you got to do it again, bro.
That's right. Yeah, because I that's one thing I remember because I only know about the game what I saw on the Angry Video Game Nerd did a review of it on the
Yeah.
Super Nintendo, and yeah, because it's just, but it looked hard, and it was one of those, I can't believe you went back and played it. Just like of all the games in the world, but I didn't know you had it as a kid.
So, but I think that like the other game I most recently played, Cyber Shadow, it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
There's a bajillion enemies. They'll just kill you. 3 hits, you're dead. It's over. But the difference between Cyber Shadow and Super Girls and Ghosts is obviously you've got checkpoints
Yes.
and just a few quality of life things. But it's like if you get hit, you get hit again, and then it's over. Like you don't become invincible and have 2 seconds of invincibility frames.
Yeah.
And Super Girls and Ghosts, you get hit once and you lose your strong attack as well, and you come back to like a crappy
Oh.
weak attack, and it's just
Oh.
like,
Didn't
oh,
know that. Didn't know that.
it's like being a full powered up Samus, and then if you get hit, in the NES Metroid, we got like the little tiny laser that doesn't even go across the screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that. It's just like, oh,
Wow. Oh, that's funny.
frustrating. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's difficult to relate to the games that I haven't played, the games that we haven't played. But I mean, I guess there's one that are playing now that you wouldn't have played as Naruto.
Naruto.
Yeah. And again, like a lot of the games on my list are only hard because I made them hard trying to get the trophies. Um,
Does trophies count as hard though, Nick?
absolutely, absolutely, some of them do. I feel like, oh god, like that Resident Evil one. Absolutely, like the Resident Evil game itself, not hard. Mercenaries, you can beat mercenaries. It's not hard, but getting the double S ranks,
That was hard.
oh, it was so hard. Oh my god. And Naruto was another. This Naruto game, it was like you had to get like double S rank or triple S rank for the story, but on every story mission. And there was a couple that were just like, ugh, without knowing the characters, but just like it's a fighting game.
Speaking of Triple S, Nick, I'm surprised you haven't put Sonic Adventure 2 down here.
It's on my list.
It's on the list.
It's on my list. It's on my list. And again, that game's not hard.
Hard because of the camera, hard because of the dodgy controls, the
Oh,
glitches, falling through the stages. But you had to get like what double
hun-
S on everything to unlock the Green Emerald stage or something. Green
S rank
Hill
on
Zone.
everything. S or A rank on everything. Jeez, I can't remember because I did it a long time ago. I was like 15, 16
You
or something
did
like
it.
that. But it was 180 emblems for Sonic Adventure 2.
I know you played the hell of that Chow stuff.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I don't remember ever seeing the Green Hill Zone. Like,
Oh
did you
really?
get it and show me?
Yeah, I remember showing you. You played
Okay.
it. You don't remember playing it?
I just can't remember playing it.
Oh right, yeah.
I
One of
remember playing the hell out of Sonic Adventure 2, but
yeah.
can't remember the Green Hill Zone.
Yeah, doing every mission and getting like A rank on every mission. Oh god, it was just like making the game so much harder than it needed to be. But if there's people still watching, the footage that's playing now is from our channel of Nick and Jeff, where I did S rank or the double S rank on one of the mercenary missions, and you have to be perfect. You have to be just perfect the whole way through. Like you can't lose your combo, and it's just like. So that'll play for the next like 8 minutes, just because I needed more footage playing.
Gee, I don't miss that, Nick. That was so stressful and so frustrating.
And I can't believe I
Glad
did
you
it
did it
twice.
for me.
That was one of those. It was one of those things. I was just sitting there all day, just trying to do it. Like Then I'd get
I
hit and I'd die
reckon.
and
What
I'd
do
do
you
another
reckon?
round.
20 hours.
Oh, yeah. I reckon a good
I reckon it's about. You probably need double the story time to get perfect on all of it.
to just the practice and like looking up YouTube because you have to. I feel like you have to do it the way that I did. You have to take a specific route and you like know when the enemies are coming. It was almost like what's that? Cool Runnings where they had all the guys sitting in the bath and like remember all the turns left, right, and just like knowing where all knowing where all the enemies are going to appear, knowing where all the ammo is, knowing where all the health is, and it was just like
In the end, though, like, was it hard
yeah.
because the game was difficult, or was it hard because you have to remember the pattern?
No, remembering the pattern wasn't easy because I knew the pattern, but just like trying to like as the enemies come at you, the animations aren't always the same. Like this guy runs around the corner and then I don't know, and like you got to be perfect with your shots, and it's just like no, like waiting for the right moment there, take him out, and then run into this room. Watch this bit. Okay, this bit. These two got so there's one tough guy. No, you got to wait for the second one. Wait for the second one, and then line them up together, shoot them both, so they both die. And it's just like
With your one magnum bullet.
with your one magnum bullet because you got 10 magnum bullets throughout all the levels, and you got to just it was so hard. You want a challenge? I dare
All right,
anyone
Nick,
watching to do it.
stop looking at the painful memories. We got 10 minutes left.
Yes.
Oh, we don't have 10 minutes left, but
think I was
I
on
feel
14.
like 40 minutes is probably the too long sweet spot for us.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
what's your next
how many
game?
games we got left? I got Hollow Knight on there.
Yeah,
I feel like Hollow Knight was really challenging.
Hollow Knight
I
had
don't
footage playing
talk
at the
about it
start.
too much.
No, yeah,
Hard. The bosses were extremely hard. I gave up. There was the DLC with all like the red themed DLC, Red Circus
Yeah.
kind of guys. I know
Yeah.
you beat that boss, and I'm like, this boss is too hard. And then you did that video, and I'm like, I got to do it too now. And I did it a whole heap of times, and then I actually followed your video. I'm like, oh, that was easy.
yeah. Well, it was just one of those things memorizing the pattern because I remember it was when you said you couldn't do it that I was like, I'm gonna do it. I've got to do it. And then I remember, yeah, it was one of those things sitting there for a couple of hours again. Finally,
you always push the line. Like, it's not like, oh, I beat the boss. I made that boss my bitch. I actually thought you did it without getting hit, but no, you actually got hit.
Yeah, but you watch. I don't get hit for a good. I don't know if the fight goes for 10 minutes. I don't get hit for a good 5 minutes or something like that. But yeah,
But there was like some extra, even more DLC after that, Nick. And that just got to the point where it's like, this is just ridiculous. I'm not having fun. Like,
yeah,
I'm not feeling the accomplishment of doing these stupidly long, hard challenges full of instant death traps. I'm like, nah, see you later.
yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, you're right.
Delete.
Hollow Knight was challenging, but it was also still fun. Like I didn't hate it by the end the same way I hated Fallout 4. Like if another Hollow Knight comes out, I'll buy and play another Hollow Knight. But yeah, there's some games that just left a bit like Sekiro. Fuck that game. I dare you. I can't wait for you to play Sekiro. I cannot wait.
So we talked about Cuphead.
Yeah,
I feel like that's pretty hard, but you can do it. Like it's not that hard, and all the levels are short, and I guess they're all boss fights. So you sort of just learn the patterns as they go. So I feel like.
But do you remember?
It was very challenging. Yes, it is very hard, but you can do it.
Do you remember hating me with Cuphead as well? Because I got S rank for every level.
Probably not. Nah, I didn't. If it did, it didn't bother me, so I didn't care enough.
Okay, yeah, because I remember at the time you're like, "Oh, this boss is so hard. This boss is so hard," and I was like, "Yeah, but I did it without getting hit."
All right, Nick. I got one game left on my list.
Okay, fire.
Well, do you have any more?
Yeah, I've got 2 left, so I guess I'll go with one of mine, and then The Last of Us on grounded mode. So
see, that's a difficulty option.
again, that's what most of my games have been is difficulty options. But I mean, that's because I know you didn't do it, but for the trophies,
No, I definitely didn't do it, and I know you played Last of Us like probably more than Resident Evil 4.
it's up there. It's definitely up there. But to get those trophies, you have to do grounded mode twice. I had to put myself through that hell twice.
What, twice?
So there's a trophy for doing grounded mode once, and then grounded mode on New Game Plus. It's not much easier on New Game Plus. It's just
Oh,
like
gee, why would they do that to you?
it's like why like
Was that like
two trophies?
additional
It was
DLC trophies?
yeah, additional DLC. Yeah. I never got the platinum for Last of Us because there's online multiplayer.
Multiplayer ones?
Yeah, and those ones are forever sitting there unearned.
I
But
thought you played a whole bunch of the multiplayer too.
on PS3, not a whole lot of it to get all the trophies. But yeah, the PS4 remaster one, yeah, didn't get them.
They still left multiplayer trophies in the PS4 version? What jerks.
I know, right? I hate like
And then there's no Last of Us multiplayer in part two. I
I
mean,
think
I'm grateful,
I think they were
but
working on
I'm
making it, weren't
surprised.
they? I think they were working on doing some. I think I don't know.
I'm surprised they haven't done some sort of free to play whatever.
But if since you haven't played it, it's essentially you go through the game with nothing but bricks, bottles, and your fists, and they like the enemies hit hard as well. So like it's just oh
And there's no hearing mode either, was there?
no, there wasn't. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, you're right. There's no like listening through walls and seeing where all the enemies are. And oh my
I
god,
think
that
by the amount of times you would have played the game, you probably didn't rely or need that
no,
very much anyway.
you sort of know where everyone is, and but it was cool putting on like headphones and just listening to be like, okay, yep, there's something over there, yep, because you had to do it manually, and that was kind of cool, but at the same time, it was still just it was so hard. Just bricks and bottles and your fists just punch your way through the whole game. It was just maddening, absolutely maddening. Almost as maddening as it actually not as maddening as the Resident Evil Mercenaries, but it was damn hard. I was pulling my hair out. Moving on. What's your next game?
No, I'm saving mine for last, Nick.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll move on to my last one then.
Yeah.
My next or my last one has it'll be the next footage after this Resident Evil Village one. So enjoy watching that in the bottom corner. But it's my most recent platinum trophy, Final Fantasy VII, getting the platinum trophy in Final Fantasy VII. So you have to beat the game on hard mode. Beating the game on hard mode's not
The
that
regular
hard.
game was pretty hard.
It was challenging. It was definitely challenging. And
It wasn't that bad.
hard mode, you can't use items at all. You have to use spells.
No one uses items in Final Fantasy, Nick.
Oh, yeah, you do.
You got to save it. You got to save those items when you might actually use them.
True. Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong.
So you don't get any revives.
You don't get any revives, and you don't get any extra magical powers, MP. You have to like from start to finish of the chapter. You don't get any extra. You just whatever like you have to ration it really really well. But that's the thing. Doing the story.
Wait. So how did the MP work in the main game? I can't remember.
You could recover it with you could recover it with items like potions and stuff like that.
Like you know how some games like you've got magic power, but then if you swipe with your sword, you'll gain 1 or 2 MP back or something like that.
Oh, you could sometimes do it by slashing open some crates, but yeah, like it was very very minimal.
Gee, that sounds really not fun.
No, but that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. The story mode, doing story mode on hard, not that hard. Just perfectly fine. But it's starting now. This there'll be a little bit of an explanation that I think you'll miss. But you have to go and do the top secrets trophy, where you go into the simulator and you have to fight all of the summons. So you remember like except for Ifrit. So you have to do the ice chick. You have to do the fat chocobo.
Yeah, they were really challenging to do, but I feel like it was kind of still fair, if that makes sense.
Oh no, this trophy was not fair. This is probably I like it was just as hard, if not harder. No, it was definitely harder than the Resident Evil Village double S ranks.
What's this? The footage that's on screen now, that wasn't the normal UI, was it?
No, this is just like the guy he as he talks through the video, because this was the guide that I watched to get through it. He explains this is the materia that he used, that's the slots that he put them in, this is the weapons that he used, and all that sort of stuff.
So you need to give yourself the best loadout possible to get through the challenge.
Pretty much, yeah. Like Cloud has to be a magic user, Aerith is a magic user, and then Tifa is just all physical damage. And you play as Tifa, but you have to beat all the summons in one go. So and it was just like.
And is that only on level unlockable on hard mode?
It's only doable on hard mode. It is the only one that's doable on hard mode.
And I remember that list. Yes, I remember the training list, that training section near the end of the game. I'm like,
yeah,
nah.
any Nick and Jeff fans out there that can ever do this have my utmost respect, because this one, it's last. I saved it for last because it is probably the hardest thing I think I've ever had to do in a game. Like Sekiro was like, I gave up on Sekiro. I was half an hour away from giving up in this. Just
like I played on PS4 Pro,
yeah.
I think, and it was already the smoothest possible battle system I've ever used. It was so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Was it even smoother on PS5?
I couldn't tell. I think it was maybe a
Couldn't
little
tell?
bit flashy. I couldn't tell. Like it was already super smooth, but I couldn't really tell you what was different with the HD PS5 upgrade version, if I'm honest with you. But it could be like that same syndrome that we have when we play like HD remasters of old games. I can remember when we played, I don't know, Skyward Sword or Twilight Princess, and then you look at the old one, you're like, oh, that's what the old one looked like?
Yeah.
So it could be the same thing where I'm like, oh yeah, this is what the game looked like, when really my brain remembers it more fondly. I don't know, couldn't tell you. But yeah, so that's all my games. Like a lot of them are based on me making them harder or trying to get hard trophies and all sorts of stuff. And then there's some games that I'm just like, nah, I'm going to play Devil May Cry on easy. Sekiro, that game's too hard. But yeah. But this,
all right, Nick.
Yeah, this is it.
I don't know if this is going to come through the microphone. I think it takes a long it's a long intro. It takes a while.
I can hear it. No one out there listening is going to know what this is.
I'll fast forward a bit.
E B A E E B. Oh, move it away a little bit. That's real loud.
Yeah, so that'll sound awful on the camera, but basically, yeah, it's Rolling Stones, Jumpin' Jack Flash from Elite Beat Agents.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that game.
Like, you could get through the game on normal mode, and then there's quite a few difficulty modes, and I'm pretty sure you did them all. And I'm like, how did Nick do this? This is so hard.
You know what? Hold on. I'm going to edit the podcast here. Give me 2 seconds. All right, we're back. There we go.
We're back. So Nick's found some footage of Elite Beat Agents. So bit of a crazy, wacky game.
For those of you who don't know,
rhythm music game.
Yeah, it's a rhythm music game on the DS. It was DS. Yeah,
it was on the DS, and then I thought it was so cool, and I bought the Japanese version, Elite Beat Uedon 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't play that one. Yeah,
but yeah, and then there's actually a spin-off on PC called OSU.
Oh, yep.
And people have made hundreds of thousands of their own music tracks, and it's just so impressive. It's very cool. But yeah, the combination of like the little story mode, using the stylus, getting your hand cramps, fun, good music. It's very fun, very good. One of the hardest games. And I wanted to end on a happy hard, Nick.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, well, that's right. And this is the chick clapping at this E, B, A, E, B.
Yeah, they pretty much saved the world.
Yeah, just three dudes dancing in a suit, and it was a hard game. That's right, because they got frozen or like stuck in stone or whatever it was.
Yeah, they were stoned up or something like that.
Yeah, a rhythm game for the DS. I love how that's like that's your funny example. I completely forgot about it, but you're right. My memory of this game is where you beat it on easy, you beat all the levels on normal, and you couldn't do this level on hard. And
on hard, was it?
Yeah, you couldn't.
And then you did like what, Master Rock or whatever it was, Hard Rock.
And that's So
there's an extra difficulty that obviously you unlocked.
Yeah, you lent the game to me because you're like, it was like, nah, I can't beat the game on hard mode. So like you lent it to me. I beat the game on hard, but then after beating hard, it unlocks this difficulty, which was even harder.
With the chicks.
Yeah. It was there was an even harder mode, and I beat the game on that. I remember I was so proud of that because it was.
Oh, so you unlocked the women?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and it was one of those things because I remember growing up, you were always better at every game. Every game we played, you were always better. And there's a special.
The times have changed now, Nick.
There's a special place in my heart for Elite Beat Agents because it was. Yeah, I completely forgot about it, but it was one of those games where it was too hard for you, and it was the first game ever where I was like, oh, I'm better than Jeffrey. I did it. Because growing up, you were better at everything. You beat me at Smash 90% of the time. You beat Pikmin, apart from that underground level, which I always won. But yeah, you were always better at games. Like
Oh
GoldenEye.
yes. Well, Nick, I think I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed, but I think we should wrap it up here unless you got any more.
No, I'm good. That's it. That's my whole
I feel like
list.
that's a good list. Some of we had a lot of overlap, which I thought was
Yeah,
fine. We played a lot of the same games, and
of course.
there's only so many hard games out there.
And you've inspired me to want to go back and play that the one on Xbox.
Cyber Shadow, yeah, go
Cyber
do
Shadow,
it.
yes.
Wow, that quick resume, man, game changer.
Yeah. But
I'd like
yeah.
play a bit of Halo. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm done with this. Oh, bit of Cyber Shadow, and then I'd keep
Yeah.
playing until I got frustrated. And then I'd just switch to another game, and then I'd be like, I can come back. I can do this. I can do it.
Yeah.
And after a little break,
Yeah. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching.
let me know if you love the Jan cast.
Yeah, the Jancast idea. Leave a comment below. Ask us a question. We'll talk about it on next week's Jancast. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.